Okay, have you noticed how the word curate is just everywhere lately? It feels like we don't just pick things anymore, right? We curate them. It just sounds so much more intentional, so much more thoughtful. But what does it actually mean when we're talking about curating, our everyday lives?
I mean, think about it. You curate your workout playlist. You're not just throwing songs you like together, no way. You are crafting an experience. You're setting a very specific mood. You're telling a story for your run. You're basically the DJ of your own personal marathon, right? And then there's your Instagram feed. That is a carefully curated gallery of your life, isn't it? Every photo, every filter is chosen to present this really specific version of yourself. It's kind of like a virtual collage of you. Heck, you even curate your lunch, picking just the right combo of ingredients for that perfect grain bowl. We've all been there. Well, you know what? This whole phenomenon, it actually has a name.
Yep, it's called curationism. The art critic David Balzer actually came up with the term to describe this exact cultural moment we're all living in. It's this idea that just by selecting and arranging things, anything from groceries to social media, we're basically transmitting their importance and their value. We've all become editors of our own little personal narratives. So, that brings us to a really fascinating question. If we're all curators of our own little worlds, then what does a professional art curator actually do? I mean, is it just picking pretty pictures to hang on a wall? Well, as we're about to see, it's a role that has gone through this absolutely dramatic transformation over time. So, to really get what an art curator does today, we've got to look back at how the profession evolved. It's this wild journey from a super quiet, behind the scenes job to being a powerful, creative force in the art world. And this transformation is just fascinating when you lay it out. The word curator actually comes from Roman times, believe it or not, where it meant bureaucrats or priests overseeing whole regions. Now let's fast forward to the 19th century. You've got these huge museums like the Louvre popping up. And curators? They were basically librarians for objects, passive caretakers. The real game changer happened in the 60s and 70s. Art was getting more abstract, more challenging, and the public needed a guide. And that's when the curators stepped into that role, becoming an active interpreter, a bridge between the artist and all of us. And this slide just perfectly illustrates that shift. In the past, the curator was this quiet figure in the background. But today, they're creators in their own right. They don't just care for art, they construct meaning, they frame arguments, and they act as these powerful mouthpieces for huge institutions. They've gone from being like the groundskeeper to being the landscape architect. Okay, so what does this powerful new creator actually do all day? Well, the job is really split in two. You've got the public-facing glamour, and then you have the behind-the-scenes grind. So let's start with the glamorous side. You have these star curators, people like Hans Ulrich Obrist, who are basically celebrities in the art world. As David Balzer puts it, they've gained the status of art world celebrities, imparters of value who lend their names and faces to exhibitions to generate audiences and income. They travel the globe, they give these big lectures, and just having their name on a show is enough to draw a massive crowd. They're the ultimate tastemakers. But, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Because behind that glamorous image is an absolute mountain of unseen work. The reality of a curator's job is so much closer to being a project manager. I mean, they're handling budgets, calculating costs, negotiating these super complex loans for priceless artwork, doing media outreach, finding sponsors, writing entire catalogs. Oh, and overseeing every single detail right down to the lighting. It is a logistical marathon, for sure. And all of this leads to maybe the most critical part of their job. Because when a curator selects and arranges art, they're not just managing a project. They are telling a story. And with that comes immense power and responsibility. So here's the crucial point, right? An exhibition is never neutral. Think about it. Every single choice, what to include, what to leave out, what to place next to what, it all shapes a narrative. It reflects a worldview. The curator isn't just a presenter of facts. They are the author of an argument. And for a long time, historically, that narrative has often been pretty exclusionary. For centuries, social norms just limited opportunities for amazing women artists. Systemic biases excluded artists of color and non-Western perspectives. But now, thankfully, we're seeing a really conscious effort to challenge that. Institutions are actively working to diversify their collections. They're spotlighting forgotten artists, preserving legacies, and really rectifying those historical oversights. Curators are on the front lines, helping to rewrite a more inclusive, more honest art history.
All right, so let's shift gears and look to the future, because the role of the curator is still evolving, pushing way beyond the traditional white walls of the gallery. And of course, technology is a total game changer here. We're seeing interactive displays that let you dive deeper into an artist's world and digital archives that open up entire collections to anyone with an internet connection. But it's VR and AR that are really pushing the boundaries. Curators can now create these fully immersive experiences that just transcend physical space. I mean, take the Mori Art Museum in Tokyo. They're using augmented reality to overlay digital info right onto the physical artwork. The stories that curators can tell are becoming truly multidimensional. This whole evolution has led to a really interesting distinction people make in the art world. On one hand, you have curating. That's the practice, the hands-on work of organizing an exhibition. But then you have the curatorial, which is more like the philosophy behind the exhibition. It's less about the specific objects on the wall and way more about the conversations, the connections, the new ways of thinking that the show sparks. It's a shift from asking, "What is this?" to asking, "What does this do?"
And that brings us right back to where we started. From our playlists to our lunch bowls, we're all constantly selecting and arranging, telling these little stories about who we are. The professional art curator just does this on a much grander scale, shaping our collective memory and our culture. So I guess the real takeaway is this: curation is storytelling. And in a world where every single one of us has the tools to do it, the most important question isn't what you'll curate, but what stories you'll choose to tell.